The scent of jasmine oil was a lie, and Claw knew it. It was a thin, fragrant veil draped over the undeniable stench of something dying from the inside out. Beneath the heavy, moth-eaten blankets of the teakwood house, his grandfather, Luang Ta Chun, lay like a discarded husk. Once a man whose name was whispered with equal parts reverence and terror in the funeral pyres of central Thailand, he was now reduced to a rhythmic, wet wheeze. The stilt house, perched precariously on the edge of an overgrown cemetery, seemed to lean in, as if the forest itself were waiting for the old mortician to exhale one last time. "Claw," the old man rasped. The sound was like dry leaves skittering across a tombstone. Claw dipped a rag into a basin of lukewarm water. He moved with the practiced grace of a grandson bound by the heavy iron chains of Katanyu, filial piety. As he peeled back the blanket to clean the old man's chest, he recoiled. The skin wasn't just bruised, it was necrotic in a way that defied nature. Black, spider-webbing veins pulsed beneath the surface, and the flesh was covered in weeping sores that looked like tiny, distorted mouths. "I'm here, Luang Ta," Claw whispered, trying to keep his voice from trembling. "Tonight is the night of the blind moon," Chun said, his clouded eyes suddenly snapping into focus, gripping Claw's wrist with a strength that shouldn't have been possible. "The debts must be settled. The masters are coming to collect, and I am too broken to pay." Claw felt a chill that had nothing to do with the humid night air. "I'll go to the temple. I'll bring the abbot." "No temple can hold back what I've invited in," Chun hissed. "You are my blood, Claw, my only blood. You must help me perform the Kan Kama, a ritual of forgiveness. If you take the vessel, the spirits will see the debt as paid, and I can pass through the gate in peace." Claw looked at the copper bowl Chun had insisted he prepare. Lotus buds turning brown at the edges, a single beeswax candle, and a coil of charcoal black thread. He didn't understand the mechanics of the spirit world, only that his grandfather was in agony. "Tell me what to do," Claw said. "Sit, take my hands," Chun commanded, "and listen well. Once the chanting begins, our souls are tethered. You must not break the contact. If our hands part before the final word, the weight of 1,000 sins will crush us both. And whatever you do, do not look into the corners of the room. The shadows will try to catch your eye. If you look at them, you acknowledge them. If you acknowledge them, they own you." Claw nodded, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He grasped the old man's withered hands. They were ice cold, yet the palms felt strangely slick, as if coated in oil. Chun began to chant. The language was archaic, a guttural Pali that felt heavy in the air, vibrating the floorboards. The single candle flame didn't flicker. It turned a bruised, sickly purple, casting long, distorted shadows that seemed to detach themselves from the walls. The air grew thick. Claw felt a sudden, sharp prickling in his marrow. It started at his fingertips, a sensation of cold, viscous liquid being forced into his veins. He gasped, his eyes darting instinctively toward the dark corner of the room. Something was there, a silhouette that was too tall, its limbs bent at angles no human frame could sustain. It had no face, only a void where features should be, yet Claw felt its hunger. It was followed by others, smears of darkness that smelled of burnt hair and old blood. "Don't look," he told himself, squeezing his eyes shut. But the visions came anyway, projected onto the back of his eyelids. He saw a young woman weeping as her face melted under a curse. He saw an old man gasping for air as he was buried alive in a shallow grave. He saw spirits being torn apart and stuffed into clay jars to serve as slaves. These weren't stories, these were memories. Luang Ta Chun's memories. The old man wasn't just a mortician, he was a thief of fates. He had spent decades bending the laws of karma for a price, and now the accumulated weight of every life he had ruined was being siphoned through their locked hands. Kla tried to pull away, a sob rising in his throat. "Luang Ta, stop, please!" Chun didn't stop. His voice grew louder, stronger, the rasp replaced by a terrifying resonance. The black sores on the old man's chest began to close, the gray skin turning supple and healthy right before Kla's eyes. On Kla's own arms, the price was being written. Beneath the skin of his forearms, black ink-like marks began to crawl upward, etching themselves into his flesh like parasites. It felt as if his skin were being branded from the inside. You lied!" Kla choked out, the realization shattering his heart. This wasn't a ritual of forgiveness, it was a transfer of title. Chun wasn't asking for mercy, he was using the only thing he had left, his grandson's love, as a legal loophole in the eyes of the supernatural. By accepting the vessel, Kla was legally inheriting the debt. The chanting stopped abruptly. The room went silent, save for the sound of a long, peaceful exhale. Kla opened his eyes. The shadows were gone. The candle had burned down to a puddle of black wax. Chun lay back on the pillow, a serene, almost saintly smile on his face. He looked 20 years younger, his skin clear, his breath shallow and easy. But Kla couldn't breathe. He looked down at his hands. The black marks had reached his elbows, forming the shape of 1,000 tiny, grasping fingers. He felt a phantom weight on his shoulders, the crushing pressure of 1,000 souls who had finally found someone to blame. He looked toward the corner of the room. He didn't need to be told the rules anymore. He didn't need to look, he could feel them now. They were standing just behind him, their cold breaths stirring the hair on his neck. Luang Ta Chun died that night, passing away in his sleep with the reputation of a holy man. Kla remained in the Teakwood house. He never wore short sleeves again, even in the blistering heat of the Thai summer. Neighbors would occasionally see him sitting on the porch, staring into the cemetery with hollow eyes, talking to someone who wasn't there. He was the heir to a fortune of sins, a living sacrifice to a debt that could never be repaid. And the worst part wasn't the pain or the shadows that followed him into his dreams. It was the fact that he was now too cursed to die, forced to endure the rot of his grandfather's soul until every single scream he had inherited was silenced by time.